Evening, Assalamu alaikum from Zahid Shah and Danika Perrin. Danika, do you want to say a quick hello?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Is it good afternoon? Is it okay?
I have no idea. 5 o'clock. It's in between.
It's in between, is it? Yeah. Okay. Now, first of all, Assalamu alaikum to everybody out there. Ramadan Mubarak. Danika, as I was saying to you in the car here, first of Ramadan. So it's the blessed month according to Islam. It's the month of the Lord Almighty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Firstly, I'd like a humble request from the people listening out there. My father, who's in his late 80s, he's really struggling with bad health. So if you can please, everybody out there, pray for him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him shafa and good health. And also, if everybody out there listening can read Surah Fatiha, for all the marumeen, or people, Muslims, people who've just passed away over the last, say, 12 months, and also people from their families as well. Read Surah Fatiha, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Danika,
Yep,
thanks for coming in today.
no problem at all. Happy to be here again.
Yeah, do you know what, Danika? You were really impressive when we had the last show, and I don't know if people remember, but we had some discussions around. Could you just remind what we talked about? Just remind people what we were talking about last time.
Yeah, so I think the main topic really was cricket. We spoke about cricket in the country, men's, women's cricket, and then my experiences playing through a county youth setup as well.
Excellent. Yes, it was, and we didn't touch too much on it, but we touched on education, didn't we?
Yes.
To some extent. But today the agenda is that me and Danika, we're going to sort of analyse what's happening with the Premier Division. We're going to dabble into Europe, and then what we'll do is if anybody wants to call in and get involved, we'd be quite happy to take calls. And then what we'll do is we'll at some point we'll touch on education. Now, a lot of people aren't aware out there but I'm a maths teacher, right? So obviously with the GCSEs coming up, it's important that we touch up on that. Also, get Danika's experiences of education in this country, because you're still a young, you're still young, aren't you? How old are you, Danika?
Yeah, 21.
21 years old, my God. I don't even remember. I can't even remember that far back, But 21, so you would have finished school 5 years ago?
Yeah, I'm in my final year of university now. Maybe 3-4 years ago, yeah. It was 2020.
Now, we will touch on education, your experiences of education. Conversations are going to be quite frank, and if people out there listening have got those kind of experiences and they want to share their experiences, ring in. The phone number is 01902 972150. Or if if you don't want people to hear your voice, WhatsApp us on 07 440 420 432. 07 440 420 432. Listen, I better say this before, unless I go home, I'll get told off. Hello, Mom. I hope you're out there. Go on, Danika.
Yeah. Mom, Dad, hello.
Yeah. I think Dad's probably going to be listening to you on the way.
We're definitely waiting for a shout out.
Yeah, I think he said he's going to be listening to you, listening to the show on the way to pick up the little one, isn't he?
Yes, yeah.
And I think Patricia's probably at home, isn't she, listening? Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right. Yeah. And hello to my missus as well. Right. Don't upset her. Okay, so football? How are you getting on? How's your team? Who's your team first?
Oh, it's been rough, hasn't it, for us Wolverhampton fans?
It has been rough, hasn't it?
Yeah, we had a two game run of nice wins. Liverpool and Tottenham? May have been a game or two in between. But yeah, it's not been the easiest of seasons.
No, it hasn't been, has it? Where do you think it's gone wrong?
Honestly, we just can't score goals. That's just our core issue, and we've got a top striker in Raul Jimenez, who obviously hasn't been the same since his unfortunate accident.
Yeah.
And we've got Diego Costa in our ranks, who also is a world-class striker, but obviously nearing the end of his career. And then obviously we signed a new striker who got injured at his first or second game. So we've just been struggling up front.
What about the way they're playing? I mean, you watch Wolves a lot more than myself. I mean, I've seen them play against Liverpool, and I don't know. I mean, they played okay. I wouldn't say Liverpool weren't great, were they?
Yeah,
Right.
poor run of form.
I mean, I'm a Liverpool fan. I mean, they weren't great in that game, were they? But poor touch of form from both sides there. But Traore, I don't know what happens to him when he gets in front of the goal.
Yeah, it's his end product there, but I think something that we can see he's working on. But yeah, it seems like that's just a big issue for the team. It tends to be a coin toss with Wolves. You never know on the day which team's going to perform. Is it going to be the team that is pressing high, pushing down, actually getting those shots on, or is it going to be the team that gets 2 shots on target in the 90 minutes that we play?
And this new manager that Wolves brought in, he seemed like the first couple of games, okay, here we go. Even though I'm a Liverpool fan, I live in Wolverhampton. I mean, I want Wolves to do well as well. But,
Yeah.
What do you think? What's he doing?
I mean, at the start, we did seem to be doing well. I think we went seven games. I think we didn't concede many goals. I think we were quite low in the goal conceding 7 games after the World Cup, if my memory serves me correctly. But I don't know. Is it the manager? Is it how the teams run? Is there more that needs to be changed? Higher up within the club.
I don't know. What do you think of midfield? Don't you think there's a few old legs in there now?
I think I still think we've got quite a strong midfield, especially with Ruben Neves in our ranks, and we've got Martino who's performing well off the bench, obviously in his late 30s now, and then we've got a new January signing Mario Lemina who's really performed for us. So it is odd and unfortunate that we have got some players who we can see are very strong players who play very well, but we're just not getting the results that we need.
Yeah, I mean it has been disappointed. What do you think? Do you think they'll drop into the bottom 3?
I can't see us going back into the bottom 3 by the end of this season. I think bottom 3. I think maybe a stretch. I think the 3 teams that are at the bottom have had a much more rough season than we have.
I don't know. I mean, I like the way Forest play. I think they are in the bottom 3, aren't they?
As of now, I can't say I've checked the table in maybe the past week or so. International break.
Yeah. I mean, international. I hate the international break, Danika. I really do.
Lack of club football. It's not very fun, is it?
No, it's not. Especially with the Premier Division. I mean, it's pretty awesome, isn't it? You know what I mean? So, have you seen any players that Wolves can maybe sign in the summer? Anybody come to mind? Because I know you're a bit of a connoisseur on Wolves, and you do keep an eye on players.
Yeah, no, I think definitely I'll keep an eye on teams playing out there and players who have been performing and having good seasons. But from a transfer standpoint, that's not something I've been particularly looking at. Definitely shifts needed in the squad. We've got quite a mixed age squad, but I know we've got more senior players that are all very, very strong head-on players. We've obviously got a good youth setup going that's been pushing great players into the senior team, the likes of Joe Hodge and whatnot. Transfer-wise, I can't really give much there.
No, but say if I gave you... I mean, the Wolves owners, they're not short of a few bob, are they?
Definitely not.
So if the Wolves owners came to you now and said, here's all the money, right, that's needed, right, go out and get some players, who would you go for first? Now let me just show you let me just read the table out. So Southampton at the bottom, 23 points, Bournemouth 24, West Ham 24, and then you got Leicester 25. And Forest 26. So any Forest fans out there listening, apologies, I really messed that one up, right? But yeah, there's not much difference actually between Southampton and Crystal Palace, there's only 4 points, and Southampton are 23. So it's not massive. I mean, it goes from 12th to 20. So there's 8 spots there where there's only a 4 point gap there, Danica.
Well, so it'd be quite tight for sure.
Yeah, I think that from what I've been watching, I'm actually because Bournemouth are a funny side, aren't they? Did they not beat? Did they not beat my side the other day?
it's it's difficult, isn't it? It's like the world of sport. You never know what you're going to get because
You don't.
a team like Liverpool, who's been on top of it for the past how many years, to then go and lose, obviously on the trot, Wolves, Bournemouth, 2 teams that are so low down in the league. It shouldn't be happening, really, should it?
No, it shouldn't be happening. And do you know what? Just coming back to my question to you, I stopped you in the flow. If the owners came to you and then you were employed as the chief scout for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and they said, look, here's an open checkbook, go and get the players that you need. And you could get any player you wanted, right, to play at Wolves now, right? What would you do? Who would you bring in?
Well, the rate we're going, definitely a striker. I quite like the looks of, is it Isak? I'm not sure where he's. I'm sure he's recently moved teams.
Where was
he playing? Where's he gone now? It's not Newcastle. Is he moved? I think it's Newcastle. He's gone to Newcastle.
Okay, you like him?
He's also, yeah, I've liked the looks of him.
Yeah.
Even before the move. That'll be one. But obviously, he's just moved to Newcastle.
So I hope the Wolves managers listen to this because maybe you can get Danica Perrin to come in and help him do some of his scouting. Yeah,
maybe. I think we can. The way we've seen our youth players perform, I think that's definitely the way to go for Wolves. To create those players and build them up. Because from the looks of it, the players we've been signing in, especially the forwards, they've still not been doing the business.
So go on again. So you got one player. Give me another 3 or 4 players. You could have anybody in the Prem.
I don't keep an eye on players individually. It can be anyone.
Anyone in the Prem.
Anyone. I mean, I'd be silly not to say Haaland, wouldn't I?
Well, there you are. So you'd have Haaland, wouldn't you?
Definitely. I think anyone would take him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else?
So that's a couple of strikers there.
Yeah. I mean,
let's look at midfield now.
Personal favourite of mine. He's getting up there in age. Bernardo Silva. That's one player who, if I had my dream team, he'd be in that midfield.
Excellent. That's a great choice, that is, Danica. Really excellent choice. Yeah. Anybody else in midfield? Anybody upcoming?
I'll always stick with my guy Ruben Neves.
Yeah.
I have my 2 central midfielders there for sure.
Okay. What about defence?
Back. Oh no, still Kyle Walker.
Yeah, you like Kyle?
Yeah, I know not everyone is a fan, but yeah, that's one player I'll always put on my team.
What about the central defender for Liverpool?
I don't like to talk about Liverpool.
Oh, come on. What about Van Dijk? You wouldn't.
No, maybe 3 years ago, but not now. Not this season.
No way.
No.
I can't believe that. Right, keeper. Would you go for
Aaron Ramsdale?
Oh, okay. I'm not going to knock that. I'm surprised you. And you know what? We are going to talk about the leaders at the moment of the table. I'm surprised you didn't mention Saka.
It's true. Yeah, he's a wonder boy, innit? No, he's a great player. He didn't cross my mind when I was speaking then, but no, he's definitely one of the best players to watch right now.
Well, he had a magnificent last game, didn't he?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I think Arsenal have just, I've said it. I'll say it aloud. I'll say it for everyone to hear. Arsenal are a team I'd be happy to win the league this year.
Yeah,
I think they deserve it more than anyone as well.
Yeah, I mean the thing is I'd support you on that. I mean, the brand of football they've been playing has been awesome. I don't think City's brand of football has been great. It's been okay. They've heavily relied on Haaland this year. And to be fair with you, he's just smashing it in, and he's
Yeah.
just started the league. For me, Haaland, I'll tell you how good he is next season. You know why? You know why I say that, don't you?
Yeah.
Go on.
I think, well, depends what changes are over. I think Man City are going to have huge changes. I mean, obviously after Bellingham, and I think they're going to have a whole squad reshuffle because obviously it's not what's worked for the last 5 years is now not working great for them. But Haaland's, in my opinion, he's going to be the number one player in the world.
He is, but the thing is the reason why I said it'd be interesting to see what happens next season is because the teams will go and play differently against Haaland.
Yeah.
They'll play a little bit differently. Don't ask me what they're going to do, but the second season for me is the key one. If he comes in next season and smashes, 40, 50 goals like the way he's doing this year, right, then I'm going to say, okay, that's cool. You can see that this guy is good, but I can still see him doing that. He's just awesome, isn't he?
Yeah. No, we'll see. Now that the rest of the teams have gotten to see how he performs in the Premier League, the top league in the world, and we can see how they change their tactics to be able to defend against such a strong player.
Yeah, and also the other thing was we touched on Arsenal, great brand of football they're playing. I like Saka, but it's also a team thing. But the manager, what's his name again?
Mikel Arteta.
Arteta. Do you remember? I mean, a few years ago, the Arsenal fans were saying we need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Is Arteta out all over Twitter?
It was, wasn't it? Do you remember? It was Arteta out, and I was thinking, this guy needs to be given a chance.
No, most definitely.
It's like there's another team at the moment who want their manager out, Chelsea, so they want Potter out. Now, I don't even think the guy's been given a chance.
No, I think they brought him in from Brighton.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with Chelsea, downhill they were going and recently sacked, was it 2 managers? They've not been particularly fair on him, especially with the way the league is now, the calibre of players. I think sides are stronger. A lot of the time it's not just one single star on a team who's lifting it up. I think, it's almost a full season with him, but no, definitely Graham Potter's he had a fantastic time at Brighton. I think he can restore Chelsea to that strong Champions League side from 2 years ago.
Yeah, but they got to give him a chance. Like the Arsenal board, I mean, I've got to give it to them. They were strong, because I was thinking they're going to get rid of this guy. The way things were, and he looked that way, didn't it?
Yeah, no, it did.
And they were saying, "Oh, next loss," and he's gone. And then he loses, and you think, "Oh God, they're going to get rid of him." Yeah, and you're thinking, he's a young lad. He needs to be given a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, especially because of the way I think he ran the team with such, deciding to build such a young team.
Yeah.
I mean, I think still even now, I think they've probably got the youngest average age side in the league. Which again is when you've got such a young team, you need to have a bit more patience and see what the manager and the club has prepared for that side.
Absolutely. What do you think? I mean, we'll talk about this because I'm hoping that you'll be here again next week. Co-hosting with me. I was just thinking, what do you think? Do you think they're going to win it, Arsenal? I've had a look at they seem to be they're 8 points clear, but right. City have got a game in hand.
Okay.
Right. So, I still think that you'd rather have the points on the board, wouldn't you?
Oh no, definitely. I think also you've got to look at who they've got left to play. We've got what is it now? 10 games left this season. Is there any games left? No, yeah. Next game's on until April.
Yeah.
We've got Leeds, Liverpool, West Ham, Southampton, City, Chelsea in April, and then in May they've got Newcastle, Brighton, Forest, and Wolves. Oh. So I think the way they're going, I think they definitely should win the league.
Well, yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd think so. I mean, I hope they win because my nephew, Fee, he's an Arsenal fan, and we've got a few Arsenal fans in the family, and it'd be nice to see. I mean, purely, I wouldn't want Manchester United to win it.
No, I can't see Manchester United really pulling it up. I mean, we saw game
Yeah.
against Liverpool. That was
Yeah. What
it's a
happened
bit of
there?
an interesting watch,
Do
was it?
you remember the score?
It wasn't 7-0, was it?
It was about it was 7.
7, yes, it was 7-0.
Was it 7 or 8?
7-0, gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not being funny, but that was. I don't care now if Liverpool don't win the league. I mean, or win anything because, you know,
They've got bragging rights
They got bragging
for a very long time after this. I mean, United came off of a Europa League win against Barcelona. You would have expected a very, strong performance from them against Liverpool, and then
you know what the score was at half time, don't you?
was it like 2?
1-0,
1-0?
1-0, 1-0, wasn't it? Yeah, 1-0.
Have a look.
Yeah, it was 1-0.
Gosh, yeah. First goal was scored 2 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, and that was it, and it just complete destruction. I mean, I was kind of flabbergasted, but gloating as well with a lot of happiness.
Yeah.
It was the day where a lot of the Manchester United friends that I know, fan friends who just disappeared.
Social medias would have been silent.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Yeah, excellent. Europe, what do you think? Real Madrid,
I'm a Barcelona girl. I am
but
the top of the league still. It
oh,
should be.
yeah, you're talking about the Spanish league.
Yes,
What do you think? They're going to win? Barcelona?
I mean, I'd like them to win. No, I think they can hold down for the rest of the league. Yeah, both men's and women's Barcelona teams have had really great seasons in my view, and I think it'll be written, especially be extra nice if obviously both teams win their leagues. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was just going to ask you that. I mean, do you watch a lot of the women's football as well?
Yeah, I think now. Well, to be fair, now I'd watch a lot more women's football than I do men's football.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, one of my friends, I'm just trying to pull his girls, because I went to watch some women's professional football.
Okay.
Right, and they were playing. It was Derby County women's reserves playing against West Brom reserves, and the match was at Wolverhampton University in Walsall campus. It was there, and I went there, and it was cold, and I actually watched the game. I was really impressed with the quality of football. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, no, I think the quality of women's football's just rapidly gotten so well. I think the last game I watched was last game I watched live anyway was back in I want to say February. It was Arsenal versus Manchester City. So two very top teams. Arsenal just haven't been having the season they should be, unfortunately, because they've had some of their top players suffering from injuries. But two top teams to watch, and it was a good game. I think it was a 2-1, 3-1 win to Manchester City.
Yeah.
Obviously got to see a lot of great England players and also international players.
Can you hold it there? We've got about 30 seconds before we go to break. You haven't even realised it's been fun. I just want to say a massive, good luck to Lisa Rollings. She plays for Derby. She's in the reserves and she's been smashing the goals in. And I just hope that she gets a professional contract, in the first team, because she's good enough. So hopefully she gets an opportunity there, and a big one out to the Rollins family as well. We've got 10 seconds before we go into the break, and then me and Danika will be back. So hopefully, inshallah, we'll see you in about another 10 minutes. Take care and God bless.
Are you replacing windows in your home? Here at AK Windows, with over 30 years experience manufacturing and installation, we can provide you with premium and affordable UPVC, aluminium windows and doors, roof lanterns, composite and bifolding doors. We offer a free quotation on all work with our selected range of windows in grey, white and much more. We can also repair window and door locks with glass repairs too. We also supply to the trade. Call today for a free quote on 01902 421 500. AK Windows.
Are you looking for a new challenge? A chance to be your own boss? Becoming a driving instructor is a lot easier than you think. Bespoke training is provided and franchise opportunities with guaranteed results. Or are you looking to get a full driving license? Well, look no further. For a complete package from translated theory classes to driving ability, securing your freedom to the future. Contact us today by calling Ashes Driving School on 07402 362 717. Wolverhampton and surrounding areas, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Learn by taking the right turn.
Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment. Suppliers of leading brands, Samsung, Sony, and Panasonic. We supply and fit all car audio systems, top brands, Kenwood, Bose, and we're an authorized supplier of Vibe product. Visit our store online at mubibass.co.uk and order today for next day delivery. Mubi Bass Electronics are proud sponsors of Wolverhampton Wanderers FC. Call us today for a free quote on 01902 754 546 and quote Ramadan 20 for 10% off. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment.
Little Dessert Shop, UK's leading dessert franchise, continues to deliver happiness in Wolverhampton. Order from Just Eat, Uber Eats and Deliveroo. Visit us at littledessertshop.co.uk and contact your nearest branch. From all at Little Dessert Shop, we wish you a blessed Ramadan and a happy Eid.
Ready for a new career? Ready to be an engineer? Get ready, get set, get training. Become a qualified domestic gas or electrical engineer with the potential to earn up to 45k by enrolling onto one of our bespoke, accredited, industry-recognised training courses at our purpose-built training centre in Wolverhampton. For more information, visit our website gettraining.com or contact us on 01902 583 941.
It's mega deal time right now at Salsa Grill. Any size pizza, a buy one, get one free, with free medium fries. Any curries with 4 roti, just $6.99. Any single burger meal, just $3.50. Masala fish with fries or a naan, only $4.50. It's all here and much more at Salsa Grill, 27 Broad Street, Wolverhampton. Order on Wolverhampton 312 314 or online through Just Eat, Uber Eats or by searching Salsa Grill Wolverhampton.
Mina Bazaar, one of the UK's biggest collections of Asian bridal wear and fashion. Established for over 25 years, we're now showcasing and taking orders for our brand new catalogue. We have Mina Bazaar's men's bridal wear. We'll be stocking the very best in groom sherwani, fashion kurta and waistcoats. Book an appointment today and get 15% off during Ramadan at Mina Bazaar, 184 Ladypool Road, Birmingham, B12 8JS by calling us on 07970 265 956. Spice up your iftar with traditional spices and flavours from Indus. We go to great lengths to source only the best in Far Eastern flavours, with a wide range of spices, pulses, lentils and essentials for your kitchen cupboards. From our hot chili powder to our range of beans and pulses. Find our range in leading local supermarkets and retailers. Indus, the world's finest foods. Your tyres are essential for safe driving. They're the only link between your vehicle and the road. At Premier Tyres, we proudly stock leading tyre brands such as Goodyear, Michelin, Pirelli and more. We're also your go-to garage for MOTs, servicing, exhausts and all your mechanical needs. With the most affordable prices in town, unmatched quality, knowledgeable and fully qualified mechanics, we will look after your car no matter the make or model. Premier Tyres, Crown Street, WV1 1PX. Call 01902 455 684 or visit premiertyreservices.com.
Every Ramadan, many around the world remain hopeful of your zakat and sadaqah, to see them through their toughest days. That's why your charity not only improves lives, but saves lives. Give hope to millions around the world from your hands, through Muslim hands. Hope is never lost when we place our trust in Allah. Hold on to hope and help save lives. Visit muslimhands.org.uk today.
This is Ramadan Radio, your local voice, your local Muslim radio. Go to RamadanRadioWolves.com and donate to your local mosque.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. I hope you had a nice little break there. Just about an hour left, and the first Roza will be open. The first fast will be open. Danika, what were we talking about before I rudely interrupted you?
Ad break interruption. I'd been to the Manchester City Arsenal's WSL fixture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so women's football. That was
I told you I told you about my experience.
Yes.
And as you're probably aware, there's something I want to touch on in a bit here. But I was really fascinated. I was watching because I love football, and I was watching these girls playing, and I was like, bloody hell, they're really good. You know what I mean? I said, blimey, they're really good. You know, and I was really impressed, and I watched the whole game. It was cold, and I was talking to one of the fathers, and he was a good friend of mine, and really impressed with the quality and even the formations, and it's proper. It's really, really proper sort of thing, which actually sort of moves me on that, your sister, Davina, she's a professional cricketer. She's 16 years old, and I've had quite a lot to do with the cricket, haven't I? Coaching and things like that. And she's now with Central Sparks. And in the was it the 100 ball? She was in Birmingham.
She was in the squad. Yes, she didn't get to play a game, but she was part of the.
She was part of the squad, but she didn't play a game, but she was part of the squad. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, Danika, but on the back of me working with Davina, I've had I've been coaching a lot of girls.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of requests. So I do a few hours in Stoke, and I get a couple of girls coming from Gloucestershire and places like that. So it's just specialist coaching to work with them. And I think the reason why I've highlighted that is I'm not trying to get a coaching gig here with anybody. I'm too busy with work anyway. But it's I get a few hours. But there's a lot more girls getting into sport. And I think if people are listening to this radio show and, from the Pakistani community, we have some very young, talented girls. There's a 13-year-old in Birmingham, Mariam Khan. She's so talented, amazing. I've seen her play. There's a girl in Stoke, Malaysia, Taluka. She's Sri Lankan, amazing player. She's only 14, but phenomenal. And then obviously you got Dav as well. But a humble request to people out there that, if your girls want to play football or cricket or they want to get involved in sport, don't be frightened. There's a lot of opportunities out there, and they'll get proper coaching and proper training. But it's about yourselves getting involved and actually, sort of putting a bit of effort in. Take him down to a club or a ground. What do you think, Danika?
No, definitely. I think, the way we're seeing women's sports grow so much, opening the doors to those younger girls to have the opportunities to start playing them is so important.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. And I think that it's financially quite lucrative as well.
Definitely, yeah.
What have you been just doing recently? What have you been doing on the phone? What have you been watching?
I was watching the 100 draft.
The 100 draft.
The women.
Can you enlighten everybody out there what the 100 draft is?
So, I'm no expert on the topic, just putting it out there now.
Yeah.
So it looks like for the 100, the teams were able to retain 4 players each from the previous season. And the rest of those players, if they'd opted to enter, have been put into a draft. So from the looks of things, the draft order is in order of bottom to top of how the teams finished last year. So who had the first pick? Welsh Fire had the first pick. They were finished last year, so they got the first pick in the draft. So you basically just pick a player out of the draft pool to come and join your team for the next season, really.
How much? What are the prices?
I think only one domestic cricket player in England had a price on. I think it was Danny Wyatt. It was around 31,000. But the rest of the domestic players in the country,
can you just clarify?
No price.
Can you just clarify that 31,000 is for how long?
I'm not sure. I'd imagine it's just for the one season or one competition.
It's for that. It's for that few weeks.
Yeah,
It's for about 4 weeks, isn't it?
They're played during the month of August. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you
No
look
more,
at
no
the
less.
if you look at the IPL and you look at the men's game, some of these players are like going for what, £1 million for 4 weeks of cricket. I mean,
Yeah.
that's phenomenal, isn't it?
It shows the growth of the game really, and how much really there is in there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talent in Wolverhampton as well. As you know, Davina. I've got a young lad, Zachariah Abbas. He's a very good cricketer. He's got a lot of talent. One of his friends, Haji even Dinsai, another young lad. There's a few young lads just in Wolverhampton who, if they were given the opportunity, I think they'd shine.
No, definitely. I think the main thing about getting your foot in the door in cricket is opportunities. Like we look at schools and what opportunities do kids have to play cricket in school. We look at private schools, the opportunities there. You see a lot of the first class players all went privately educated. Where compare it to children that don't go to private schools and don't have that education, the facilities that such schools have, don't tend to make it as much in cricket.
Yeah, and I think that kind of takes me on to my next subject, which is what we're going to finish off on today, is education. And you're trying to break the microphone, are you?
I'll knock it over.
Yeah. And GCSEs. And as you're probably aware, I'm a maths teacher. Been working in schools. I've been doing a lot of supply work recently, going across Wolverhampton schools. So I've covered a majority of the schools: St Edmunds, St Peter's, Wensfield High, Royal School. So and I've gone into Staffordshire as well. Gone into Codsall. So done a supply work in quite a varied amount of schools. What school did you go to?
So I went to two schools. No, secondary. I went to two schools. Spent my first, my first 2 years at St Peter's, and then the rest of my secondary school education was at Technical College.
Okay. Now, that's quite a strange move, because, and I'll tell you why. Because St Peter's back then was a decent school. So people listening out there, I'm not saying that St Peter's isn't a good school now, but it's probably not as good as it used to be. There's a lot of work that needs to be done there, right? But when you were at St Peter's, it was a decent school, wasn't it?
I think it was in its dipping days, but yeah, from what I've heard, it wasn't as it is now.
Yeah, and then you went to Technical College.
Yes.
And you met my son there as well, didn't you, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went there as well. So let's talk about your GCSEs, because you're an academic. You're at university. You're doing journalism. I think you've got a very bright future in journalism. I know you. People out there don't know you. You're very hardworking. You've had you've had your ups and downs, but you got over those, and you're a fighter. Well, you're a Perrin, aren't you? So I wouldn't expect anything less. But what was the experience like at Technical College?
Honestly, I think had I not been at Technical College to do my GCSEs, I wouldn't have done as well.
Okay.
The learner I am, have specific learning difficulties, so to be able to go to Technical College and be able to have a lot of one-on-one time with teachers and have a teaching style that catered more to my style of learning enabled me to reach my potential.
Do you know this thing about learning styles? It's something I'm very fond on, because I came into teaching late, and I've come in from the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry are great on how they train people, right? So some people are visual learners. Some people are they can look at pictures and learn. Some people read books. I forgot the word now. What is it? It's just gone out of my head at the moment. But yeah, it'll come back. But everybody learns differently. Now, with me, if I want to learn something, I need visual and writing. I can't learn by just reading a book. I need something visual, right? Because it's just the way I am. And I don't think schools actually cater, do they, for that?
No, definitely not. I think there's still so much more work to be done in the education sector to ensure that all children have equal opportunities to learn in the best ways that they can learn, because obviously we know not everyone's the same. Similarly to you, I can't if I'm given like reading to do for a class, I just can't process it properly. That's just how I am. I've had testing done and all sorts to work on ways to be able to do that better. Similarly to you, if I have to read something, I'll make a mind map, or I'll type it up, copy and paste it so I can listen to it on audio.
You're like me. Do you know when I did my MBA, I was at Wolverhampton University, and my background is science, like maths and science. So, maths teacher. So when I was doing my MBA, it meant reading a lot of journals, right? And then making notes. I really struggled. I mean, I got my MBA at the end, but it was hard work, and it was a hard kind of graft, But just going back to GCSEs, what do you think of the GCSE system?
So I think I was part of I want to say second. I don't think I was the first. I think I was part of the second year that changed to, the whole new number grading system.
1 to 9?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of GCSE education? What are your thoughts?
From what I remember, I had fairly good experiences with it. I think personally for me, I take a lot of what I learn in school into life. And I think I had great teachers that enabled me to do that. Like the readings we'd be given, the topics we'd discuss in class weren't just, here's a book that's on the curriculum, I want you to write about it or do your exam on it, and that's it. I think a lot of it we were able to, learn from it, not just from a, school standpoint, but from a more widespread life lesson kind of point of view.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, basically, there's a reason why I asked you this, and I think one of the reasons why I asked you this question was I should have been a bit more frank. Is that, do you think the GCSE system in this country is, because I think it's failing.
And I don't think it does what it should. Obviously, like we just every child learns, and their education, the way they can. I think not everyone's like genius, but people are smart in their own way, and especially with you have to sit exams. Not everyone can, be able to reach their full potential and get the grades that they deserve and are worthy of with sitting an exam. Yeah,
and that's what I was saying, because I've been meaning to. And it's been crossing my mind. I've been meaning to quite a lot, is talk to somebody higher up in education, and say, look, when are you going to start introducing trade into schools, teaching trade? Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not saying start teaching year 7s and 8s, but year 9s, 10s and 11s, why can't they learn electrician? Why can't they be electrician learning that, work from year 9? Why can't they learn to bricklay? Why can't they learn to plumb from year 9? Why can't that be a GCSE in electricians, or a GCSE in plumbing, or bricklaying, a GCSE? Because...
and the more practical
side, because if Zach's got level 3 in carpentry, right? But... he'll be the first one to admit that academia, he doesn't want to go to university.
Yeah.
He's got his level 3 in carpentry, and if he, doesn't, because he's got some aspirations at the moment, and if he doesn't fulfill those aspirations, he's going to go into carpentry, right? Because that's what he wants to do. He's a bit hands-on. What are your thoughts on that? Because I teach maths, and 80% of kids don't get maths, and that's not fair, but that's the case. 20% of kids get maths, 80% don't get maths. Yeah, teach them functional maths that they need to survive in the everyday world. But they don't need to do, a GCSE in mathematics if they're not going to go to university. I don't know what your thoughts are.
No, I think, for the most part, I agree. I think obviously, I think not everyone's made to go into a career that has them writing a lot of words or working with numbers. Some people are made for a more physical career. I mean, obviously you'll be using basic math skills, but a lot of I always felt that we did this like the geometry and the algebra. It was a lot. It was difficult. I think to an extent, I think there's time that could be allocated to more practical, world skills.
Yeah.
Rather than always just writing essays and writing stories. That's you can do it, but I don't think a whole term, a whole year needs to be dedicated to that. I think once you've got the basics down, you're still practicing them. You're not going to cancel all English lessons. I think it's important for kids to have the opportunity to try some things that more real world experiences, like you mentioned, carpentry and jobs like that.
Yeah, because then what happens is you have young people who are at school who are like year 9 onwards. They're working with their fathers or their uncles or whoever, doing construction, working on a construction site with their families who are in construction. See, I've been saying to girls at school as well, why don't you do bricklaying?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Why can't you be a plumber? Why can't you be an electrician? Oh, we don't, because that's a man's job. No, it's not. You can do it as well.
Yeah, I think a lot does start from schools. I remember, like a lot. Take PE for example.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think boys would do like football and rugby, and girls would do hockey and netball. What about the boys that want to play hockey and netball? What about the girls that want to play football and rugby? Obviously we're talking about careers. That one or two of them girls who didn't get the opportunity to play football in school could have ended up to be world class players had they had the chance, but the opportunity's not there for them. So it never happens.
Yeah, it doesn't happen, and I think again I'm going to back you, and I also what you just said about inner city schools, with regards to games like cricket, they don't have the facilities, to play cricket. They don't.
Yeah, no, it's true. We're not going to lie. It's a very expensive sport, isn't it? And
very expensive.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. There's no doubt about it. You know
Yes,
exactly where we're going with this. I mean, a cricket bat a decent one, a proper cricket bat costs about 500-600 quid. Yeah, that's a proper one.
I mean, I can tell you when before I went to private school. Is it public school? Private and public school.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't. We had a cricket team, but we didn't. Cricket was never played in PE. The only kids that played in a cricket team, myself one of them, were kids who played at cricket clubs.
Yeah.
There were we had training, like maybe 5 weeks worth of training once after school, one day after school. But there was never an opportunity to play cricket. You couldn't have kids who hadn't played before see a PE lesson and be like, oh, I want to try that sport. Can I play? It wasn't like that. But had that been the case, and you'd probably see a lot more kids in secondary school playing cricket.
I agree with you, and I think that was quite sad for us, because I used to love cricket. I mean, we couldn't play at school. We did have a teacher called Mr. Funny. It's not a pun, Mr. Field, and he was the cricket coach. Yeah, right, and he wasn't a bad cricketer, but at least he made an effort to take us out there. Just going on from there, I just wanted to say to parents that we will be, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be giving some tips and pointers on GCSE education and resources for where parents can actually teach and help their children learn subjects like maths and science, right? So hopefully we can get some youngsters in and we can talk about it. I mean, again, it's a tough one, but over the next we just over 4 minutes left before the show finishes, and I think what it is over the next couple of weeks I'm trying to get a specialist to come in to talk about safeguarding. And because I don't think people understand safeguarding, right? Not just in schools, because they don't understand safeguarding, full stop. So that's something I'm going to look at. We're going to look at how we can identify children who are going to go down the academic route to the ones who aren't going to go down the academic route, and what we can do, what we as families and parents can do to help. What careers that are out there. Is there racism in schools?
I think from day one, for sure.
1 minute, Danika, we're going to touch on this because this is going to be part of our next show. Is there racism in schools? And when I say racism, this is going to be a very, very controversial topic that we're going to talk about on Radio Ramadan Balls. And I think, is there racism in schools, and who is creating this racism, if there is any, and how do we educate schools and pupils on how to actually go away from this, where we can live in, a little bit more of a harmonious state. What are your thoughts, Danika? You were going to say something?
Yeah, no, just obviously before we go into to talk about it properly in future, I think there's always a definite answer to a lot of these questions, and mine is yes.
Well, you've heard it from Danika. There is, and me as a teacher, I've seen it as well in schools, targeted at certain pupils who are from the Black and South Asian, and also Danika, I've seen it it's been targeted at the Romanians as well.
Like Eastern European students,
and like European, like the Romanian kids, because some of them quite dark skinned, aren't they? Yeah. And I've seen that, and it's something that we can talk about in the coming weeks, yeah. But we've got just over a minute to go, and sort of just recapping on the show today. I think we touched on football. It's something that me and Danika are both passionate about. We touched up on women's football. Danika, do you want to say a few more things?
If I've got to go with one word, it'll be support women's sports, watch women's sports, because it's definitely worth it. From obviously you said you watched a match recently and were surprised at the talent and how the players perform so well, and how it's still tactical, it's still physical, it's just because women are playing it doesn't change what football is.
Yeah, it doesn't. And Danika, I'm going to finish off. Thank you for coming today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're a very talented young woman, and I'm hoping that you're going to be with me for the next few weeks. I would like to say to all the viewers out there, open fast today. Keep my dad in your prayers, that God give him good health. And I wish everybody a successful Ramadan. And hopefully, inshallah, me and Danika will catch up with you next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Bye.